Hey everybody, Lee here, and this is the man, Charles. I told you we were only doing jazz, and then you gave us this, but okay, I might as well do it. But then again, it's not so bad, so I'm sorry. Show.
Huh.
How are you doing today, Charles?
I'm doing fairly well. Can't complain. I don't know if I share in that assessment of it's not so bad. We'll see.
All right.
But yeah, folks, this was my suggestion.
I didn't say not bad. I just said not maybe so bad.
Right. You know what? You might be onto something. So the band today is Wolfmother, right?
Yeah.
And this is their debut and self-titled album.
Yeah.
I'm a little light on stats with this group, so I should tell anybody that's followed the Lee Gerstmann show, they can probably tell the way I'm going to go with the review if I really didn't give a shit to look into all that.
Yeah.
But I do recall, the reason why I knew this album, it came out, I did find out it came out sometime in like October 05 or something like that. I don't know when this was, and this showed how with it I was at the time, believe it or not. I was just like turning the TV channels, and I think it was Jimmy Kimmel show or something, and they were playing that night on the show, and he held up the album, like the vinyl, and I was like, oh wow, vinyl's back. So you see how with it I was at the time. And I proceeded to turn the channel. I didn't really watch the performance, but I was struck by the album cover. There was something else I wanted to watch. That's why I was like, oh, okay, just killing time for commercials. But I didn't listen to it at the time. And about 3 years later, I finally got a copy of it on CD. And also their second album, called Cosmic Egg, came out not really too long after I got the first one. And I got Cosmic Egg as well, and I thought it was even more boring than this one gets at times here. And I lost all interest in this group as Cosmic Egg. But the band itself is really just the fucking guitar player and singer, Andrew Stockdale. I don't think he's had one lineup continue through the career of the band, and I guess they still do shit. I don't know.
I heard that. I looked on Wiki. It said they are instead of they were a band. So that usually means they're still together.
They're probably only playing in Australia because I've never heard a lot about them. I do know Stockdale's name was kind of a flavor of the month for a while. I remember the first Slash solo album that was not Snake Pit, it was just Slash. He was on that. I know, on a song. I know Lars Ulrich big up these guys at the time, and they were kind of flavor of the month for a moment there. But I have an epiphany that I will hit on at the end of this review. Because of this album and having to listen to it. But I did have it at the time, or not exactly at the time, but a few years later. So I was relatively aware of it, you know what I mean? But I hadn't listened to it in its entirety in a long time.
All right.
So, all right.
The thing that I had thought was the most significant thing about them was that there was another group that when I had bought I think it was like 100 CDs for 5 cents because the guy was so angry that he had to keep them that I just bought them from him just to shut him up. And then one of them was a group that had a cover very similar to this Wolfmother thing and also a logo similar, except the words were written so weird that there was no way I could even discern what they were. And then when I heard the music, it was very, very strange, like as if they were trying to do free jazz, but they
Right.
only were tuning up, and the drummer thought they were really performing, so he just drummed with them, and so they just kind of continued the song even though they weren't really playing a song, and I never knew who they were because I couldn't figure out their name, and then somehow I either lost the CD or it fell out of my hand as I was holding onto it very loosely, shaking my hand vigorously while walking down the street. Either way, I don't have it anymore, and since I couldn't find out what their name was, because it was written in such a weird logo everywhere, and none of the song, none of the it's like it was none of the song titles were like as if it was just like maybe song 1 and song 2, so I don't even know what they were. So
right.
that when I saw Wolfmother, I thought at least they had the ability to make Wolfmother legible. Okay.
And the cover is pretty cool. I like the cover of the album. I do recall, like, oh, that looks pretty cool. But like I said, I turned the channel. A few years later, I finally actually heard it, and I was like, I kind of set it up where I just apparently would sound like I hate this.
Huh.
We'll see. I'm not gonna say I hate it though.
Yeah,
I'll give it
the only
preface.
Yeah, the only thing I will say is I'll let you figure out on your own how to interpret this, but I tried quite a few times to hear it. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. And I
Don't
finally
say too much analysis needing there, but
yeah. I eventually heard the whole thing, and that was right before we did the review. Okay?
And probably, to be fair,
right before we will do the
I.
review. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because one thing, before we even get into it, this is almost an hour-long album.
Yeah.
That I'm not fond of. Attention bands, please. And I think that's less of a... Well, no, I did a Taylor Swift fucking review that was like an hour and a half album. So I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, oh yeah. But I don't get into too many new artists, but I'm like, at 35, 40, I'm good with if it's a really good album. And we all can't do the White Album. Mm-hmm. And neither can Wolfmother. But a lot of bands were doing long shit back then, so okay. But whichever.
Yeah.
So, whatever. Okay.
What do you...
Wolfmother. Let's do it.
Who do you want
to
go?
You can go first.
Okay.
You can go first.
The first song is called Dimension, or he pronounces it Dimension. Either way, it's the first song. And if I were looking for new groups to hear, and this was one of them, I'd stop before the song reached a minute, because it uses every cliche known to groups who try to be heavy and a little bit retro, but this sounds like all the rest of those types of bands. So whether or not their other songs are better, if this was the first impression when searching for new groups, I'd skip them. What do you think?
Wow. Well, we start with a pretty anguished scream from the band leader Andrew Stockdale. Like maybe dropped a hot coal on his foot. No. One thing is cool for me right here though with this record, Lee, and that your favorite Oasis album, Dig Out Your Soul, same producer here, Dave Sardy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's neat.
I guess then we shall assume then that the talent is in the band.
Well, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
But I cannot, personally though, I cannot find much fault with this at all. Great bass work, real great guitar tones throughout, cool riffage. The ascending and descending riff in the chorus, I think, is spectacular, they add. But these dudes get a lot of like Sabbath comparisons, but to me this one's a bit more Zeppelin-y. Oh well, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I thought it was a strong opener and one of those songs that you want to crank up and get down a bit. Nothing wrong with that for me, but we have way more to review, so I might come along the Lee train here soon.
I'm kind of worried that maybe we will be diverging a lot. Anyway, what do you think of White Unicorn?
Bit more of a chill out vibe to start out. Some pretty nice little light riffage. And then, okay, now I hear it. The chorus does have a bit of a Sabbath feel. Stockdale provides all guitars throughout the whole album. And he's got a good feel to the instrument. Whether he's playing something phenomenal or not, he does. I really haven't heard this record in a long minute. And I think this one is pretty damn good too. It's pretty cool. I like the track placement. You go from Dimension, which is a bit intense, and this one has some great variances in tempo and sound going on. I really love the guitar sound on this one, man, so it gets my approval.
Okay, maybe we aren't diverging here, because I said this is my favorite track on the album, because comparably, it's the only song where there aren't any elements that screw the song up. They do it well, and the singer doesn't annoy me, so that's a plus. All right.
Right.
And now for Woman. This song started pedestrian and the least interesting song on here, but then the middle part is one of the best things on the album. So they were able to make a good amount of the song sound good. It's the only time on the album when they were able to do that, but at least they did it with this song, so I say good job. What do you think?
It was one of the singles, and yeah, it has that single feel a bit. Back on the intense side of things here, and I think even a tinge of sex appeal to this one, ladies, which of course matches the theme. The breakdown in the middle of the song is excellent. You even get a bit of organ underneath that breakdown. There's not a lot in terms of a guitar solo, but just an extended jam and then back to that relentless riff. I will say it's far from the most original thing I've ever heard. Definitely a huge nod to 70s rock and metal, but hey, that's my shit. And it's another one I like here. I like Woman.
All right. So what do you think of Where Eagles Have Been?
Well, a bit more retread with mellow acoustic numbers here, a la Led Zeppelin 3. So I can maybe assume my Bud Lee is going to be meh about this one or not. We'll see. It does get kicked in with some electric guitar, though, a bit in. And Stockdale does a halfway decent Robert Plant, I suppose. There's nothing wrong, I guess. I do think it's a bit long, though. And even though I do like variances in songs, I'd have probably kept the acoustic light part and deleted the rocking part. And it's also a bit boring, which is never good. So the first one that I'm not really feeling here overall does have a decent guitar solo, but yeah, way too draggy for my liking.
Okay, I like this one mostly. They do add a few cliche moments during the last part of the song, but they somehow try to make it sound more natural, as if it works better than other times when it's just a cliche, period. So it's not perfect, but it's one of their better attempts at trying to make flawed moments work in a song. Okay, now for Apple Tree. I don't dislike it because it's weird and quite consistent in its weirdness, but I also don't really like it a lot. But I'm amused by it, and I could imagine listening to it again merely to note to myself how weird it is. What do you think?
Yeah, this one's a bit odd. It affects around the vocals, especially in the verse. I'm supposing Aussies know what he's talking about, because I haven't a fucking clue. Bit sludgy, this one. Kind of grimy. One spots. It's kind of got like a garage rock feel to it as well. And I wouldn't have gone that route. I don't think this suits them, nor does it me. 2 in a row now that I can do without. Come on, Wolfmother. All right.
Yeah. Before we get into the next song, I will say, I didn't write it down, but I will say there was a song that it reminded me of. And it took me a while to realize it. And it was one of my AI songs. One where I wrote some weird nonsense lyrics and AI did the total music. So if you look up the song by New Hill, Neewhille, the beginning part of the song French Song,
I hope it's better than this song. That Apple.
I'd be interested to know what you think of the comparison of the melody. I'd say that I like the version that worked in New Hill more than this. This sounded more like Tiny Tim on a bad acid trip.
Which is never a good thing. We like him on good acid trips.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, what do you think of Joker and the Thief?
The guitar riff reminds me of the Alan Parsons Project for some reason.
Huh.
But of course, they were using keyboards, so I suppose kudos for that with the guitar. The opening riff is what I'm talking about. Then it goes into standard fare when this band plays their style. The keyboard underneath here, I think, is solid. Backing the guitar up. It was another single. I'm not quite as keen on this one as Woman, but it does have some interesting sounds going for it. I don't think it's necessarily essential listening, but I appreciate the sounds and what they were going for. It's almost prog for these guys. Mid-range level enjoyment for me, but at least it's more akin to what they do well. And I could see Rush fans appreciating this song for some reason. Go ahead.
They successfully do an authentic imitation of Uriah Heep, including the monotonous song structure and the not always interesting musicianship. But there are moments I liked in this song. It probably is played well live, but there were more moments I thought were dull than moments I liked, but I wasn't offended by it. Okay, now for Colossal. This is a good song except for his vocals, which annoy me greatly. And then when they play faster during the last couple of minutes, I felt that's a cliche, like many cliches this band does, that they could have avoided by stopping the song at that point. So it's mostly a good song, but with a couple of annoying factors. What do you think?
Well, as I said going into this review, man, this album is long. It's damn near an hour. And perhaps if they cut the weaker songs, it would be way more listenable. And to me, this one isn't strong. Slightly generic Sabbath riff-off riff here. And while it probably would be a suitable B-side, this isn't that Colossal at all, no. I do like the bridge on the song, though. It's got some great riffs. So it's got some qualities that are okay, but in the end, it was boring, though, overall.
Okay.
Not Colossal, at the very least.
Yeah. What do you think of Mind's Eye?
Well, we bring it down a bit here into that mellow land. Yeah, but in the verse, it gets a little bit more rocking. And this one, I'll say, is way more my style. This one, Stockdale lets the guitar breathe a bit and not cram a ton of riffs. Just some nice drums, rather simple. But it is that way sometimes. You gotta know what to play and what not. Is it the most original thing I've heard? No, it's retread, of course. Complete with some Deep Purple keyboard solo, which is pretty damn good keyboard solo, actually. But I think they found a great sound here, and I do enjoy this song quite a bit. I wish they would just stay in this style right here.
Okay, I like this song. The hypnotic drone sound is really cool. I was liking the whole song until the keyboardist decided to do a Ken Hensley Uriah Heep repetitive keyboard solo that the group probably thought was good, but not to my liking. So another song where a certain bit of it had a moment of they just couldn't help themselves. But overall, it's quite good.
Well, maybe there's some Wolfmother people that know Stockdale. Hey, redo that song, put my boy Lee on keyboards, and he'll show you what's up.
Hey, I'd be into it. He wouldn't even need to pay me. The only payment I would need is to have it replace this version. Okay.
There you go. Right.
Now for Pyramid. I like this song. I don't like that high-pitched guitar part or his vocals, but even though they annoy me like fleas while I'm trying to eat my food, the overall food or music is good. And I can overlook some annoying factors because with this band, the annoying factors are a part of their sound. What do you think?
Well, I guess now he wanted to try to do some Syd Barrett, at least in the beginning. And then it went into what I describe as the Wolfmother sound, whatever that is. I like the guitars, believe it or not. And the bass work was solid. And this Syd Barrett-esque thing they got, well, it kind of works. But man, here's my epiphany, Lee.
Yeah.
They slam Oasis for ripping shit off. I don't hate this, but it just kind of makes me want to listen to actual 70s rock. Not so much this. I mean, but, you know, like real shit. It's not their worst. But the effect is starting to get grating. Like, how much can you rip off? Literally. And you mentioned this before in private. The difference between like a group like this and Noel Gallagher is, yeah, he's got busted a couple times for ripping shit off and had to pay. But he knows how to repackage those sounds. That's a talent.
I'll put to you like this. There's a reason There's a reason why I guess I listen to all of Oasis's albums, even though you kind of coaxed me into it, as opposed to Wolfmother, which I don't think I'll want to do.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, kudos for you. You're starting to sound like me, and that's a good thing.
Well, I can discern what is like at least good rip-offs versus this. Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm enjoying at least doing this review with you.
The epiphany is, I get it, people in internet land. When you're like, wow, can you just get off Oasis's dicks? Yeah, I understand. Now I get it, because when you listen to like something like this, it's like, you might as well just listen to fucking Pipers at the Gate of Dawn or Sauceful Secrets. If you want to hear some Syd Barrett kind of thing, you don't need to listen to Wolfmother for it. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But, god damn. All right.
Yeah, even though I've criticized Pipers before, I've been listening to the mono version, and I like that, and that's far superior to this.
Good
anyway,
Lord, that's some great shit.
Anyway,
all right, where are we going now?
What do you think of Witchcraft?
Yeah, I mean, you know, this like Pyramid. Now we're ripping Pete Townsend off of it. Plus, again, this album is way too fucking long, man. That damn CD era. This one is absolutely boring beyond belief. And the ripping off of other bands is getting way old at this point in the album. Just go listen to The Who to get a better song. And then they put fucking flute. How many times do I have to say, no flute in rock? It's the kiss of death for me, and this is a skipper for sure. Fuck Witchcraft.
Okay. I said, this song I like, except the flute part bothers me. They don't need to put in a Jethro Tull influence in a song that doesn't work with it. But aside from the flute, which brought me to almost say I didn't like this song, it's one of the better ones on the album. Okay.
But did you hear like the We Won't Get Fooled Again guitar in it? I mean, come on.
Okay, here's the thing. When I was listening to this album, I was actually listening to it from the last song forward, because I figured sometimes with albums they put their worst songs last. So if I kept listening to it forward, I would be getting better songs as I kept going, which was the case. And so when I was listening to this, I was mostly comparing it to the songs that I had heard before it. So even if the songs before this are better, I heard this before them. So that's how I was doing my review.
Yeah.
But yeah, if
first time you ever did that,
huh?
I don't think that's the first time you ever did it. By the way,
I've done it many times, but if I had heard this before the others, I probably would have said what you said. But on its own, and with this group, it's like if all the nuts are moldy, at least if one only has the tip moldy and you can cut it off and eat the rest of it, that's sort of what I'm trying to say.
Lord, we have like 25 more minutes of music to go. What's the next song?
Okay, next song is
Tails. Right?
Tails. Okay. And we can't have a hip and cool album without the nod to Led Zeppelin 3, huh? The switch from more mellow to heavier doesn't surprise me or thrill me. This makes me want to hear Greta Van Fleet. Not a good sign. What do you think?
I didn't hear Zeppelin 3 because there's another song coming up that will, but this one... Now they're ripping off the band Jet? Seriously, Jet. Listen to Are You Gonna Be My Girl, the album, which was also came under fire for ripping off a lot of other bands. This Stockdale kid sounds a lot like the Jet lead singer here, which is interesting. And again, I say it's interesting because Jet's been accused of ripping off a lot of shit. However, that aside, I do like when this one kicks in, and the keyboards are strong here. This one sounds like the Noel Gallagher song, There She Blows.
Huh.
Which also pretty much straight ripped off some 60s thing about like a bus or something. You said it on our review. I forget what band. I think the
Bus
Hollies.
Stop.
Yeah, right, the Hollies?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And only in parts. Only little parts. It's like the same little flow.
Yeah.
So, good Lord, how much can you rip off? Is it as bad as their worst material? No. But is it something that will blows one's mind? No, as well. Just an album cut. It's like halfway decent for them. Pales. But you ripped off Jet? Come on. And you're a countryman. Where's your pride, Andrew Stockdale? Okay.
All right. Here's one thing that I want to mention. There's two groups called Jet. One is the one that you know of, that I very barely know of, and reminds me of a group called Trickster, which has a different spelling, Trickster, and there's a guy in it who I think could be Joe Elliott's brother, and who tries to make Jim Croce type of songs sound like hair metal. Totally bad thing. And the group Jet that you know of has album covers that look kind of like that group, and I might have to force myself to hear it again just to find out. But
the one song I sent you like, and that nice little flow, and I play. But
I'm only talking about the album cover.
Oh, I know. I don't know about the other Jet.
And the other Jet was a group with a guy named Davey O'List, who had been in the group The Nice with Keith Emerson, and their music is more like maybe a little bit like an early version of what Pulp would be. So you might dig them. They kind of had like a pump English keyboard sound, but they were kind of cool. But they're harder to find. But anyway, so that's how.
Yeah.
I'll have to find it.
But before we get into these beautiful last two tracks here, Stockdale he's compared a lot to Ozzy, and I honestly, I only hear it like very little. Right? Am I alone in that? Maybe.
I see him as being physically like how Ozzy would look if he got a perm. That's my assessment.
Yeah, I mean, well, I wouldn't. Maybe. Well, maybe he looks like Ozzy's boy.
Yeah, kind of.
His singing, I very little, just like occasional little things here, but I get the whole annoyed by his voice thing. Like it gets a little grating, but either way, Jet's got maybe one good album. The Jet I know, not the Jet I don't know. And we did confirm that both Tricksters are garbage.
Yeah. Okay.
So here we go. We got Love Train.
Yeah, you can start.
Ooh.
Okay,
Yeah,
what do you think of Love Train?
OJ's version might have been better.
Yes.
Oh shit. Now we're going to rip off the Rolling Stones with the bongos. I mean, it is really only opening. It's not like it, it does kick in a song that doesn't sound like Sympathy for the Devil, thankfully. I mean, at first I was like, holy shit. Matter of fact, I do like the guitar riff here quite a bit. And it has a danceable feel to it. In rock, that's a commodity. And this one is a bit funky in spots. So I'd have kept this on if you trim the album down to a listenable length. I'd have kept this because it's different sounding. Cool little track, and I dig it. So good job, Wolfmother.
All right, I put something about this song sounds imitation. Like it's the best option in a convenience store in New Jersey, but it won't make its way to Manhattan. It's the best off-brand salami, but with a fake aftertaste that seems genuine to people who don't know any better. I do like it for what it is, but it makes me want to hear other groups who do it better.
So I would parallel this to this is Flavor Aid to Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Relief. Yeah. Like you got to put 2 packets.
Yes.
More sugar to make it taste good.
Yeah.
But it'll taste good eventually.
Yes. It's not. It's good enough. It's like
exactly.
if my father pinched my neck hard enough and say, "You love me, son, don't you?" I'll eventually smile and say, "Yes, father, I do," in order to get him to stop pinching me that hard. Kind of like that.
I mean, so far, and we only have one more track, thankfully. I mean, this makes, what was that guy we were talking about yesterday, Lee? My buddy, the misunderstood genius. God, not Ed Ames. Not Ed Ames. Don't bring up Ed Ames. Ed Ames sucked.
Oh.
Yeah, the guy, Roger Whittaker. It makes Roger Whittaker sound like the voice of God, this album, but I think yeah. I'm insane.
No, I'd rather hear this.
Really? Over Roger Whittaker?
Yes, yeah, you know how I feel about him.
Exactly.
But anyway,
thankfully
but it's like the difference between at least it's Roger Whittaker English instead of German.
I could sit with Roger Whittaker on and get me a fucking mug of Ovaltine.
I'll put it to you like this. There's about either 60 up to 100 Roger Whittaker German albums that I don't even want to touch. Because at least he's going to be sounding stupid.
I can't wait to do those.
At least he's singing in English, which I can understand. I might try to hear one of them, but the only German I know is fake German that I make up, which I'm very good at, but I can't transcribe real German.
Fake German, yeah.
But I am part German. But anyway,
me too.
Yeah,
and I'm in Germany. So Roger
so that's cool. And,
we love you on the Lee Gerstmann Show. We love you.
I will do
Ed
one.
Ames, no.
I will do another Roger Whittaker album without threatening Ed Ames for you if you need to do it.
Okay.
But then we will have to do the other bad Nantucket album.
Oh.
Which is Harold Faltermeyer bad.
Well, I've already paid some penance for some of the reviews we're doing today for Nantucket, but
you actually I credit you for going through it, and even though this is not meant to be that kind of credit, I do appreciate how we both feel about it, and that makes it good. Anyway.
Well, we both agreed it sucked. All right.
Last song. Vagabond. Okay.
Of an album. Yeah,
all right.
Vagabond. Go ahead,
all right. I'm tired of groups who think that doing a louder, heavier version of Richard Ashcraft is going to make them hip. And I'm tired of the people who believe it. And that tiredness started when I heard this song. It's fine for what it is, but it's not a last song that will make me want to go back to the album. Maybe it's Ashcroft.
Ashcroft, yeah. Thank you. The Verve. Yeah.
Yeah.
You compared this to the Verve?
No, I'm comparing it to a louder, heavier version of it.
Oh.
Of him.
Oh, okay. Right.
Not the Verve group, but okay, yeah, why not? I heard them too and didn't like them.
You don't like them? That's good
much.
Enough. And most people fuck them up with a Verve pipe. That's a completely different group. And actually,
all I know is he's the guy with the long curly hair, right?
Bittersweet Symphony.
I'm talking about Richard Ashcroft's solo.
Yes, sir. They did Bittersweet Symphony.
Is he was a member of that group? I don't know their history like you do.
No, you wouldn't. It's okay. Yeah, the Verve.
Yeah, okay.
Group. Yeah.
I think I liked them I liked better than his solo shit. Anyway, what do you think of this song?
And at this point in this marathon, we hit the last track, and we go out with something that I thought was another Led Zeppelin 3 ripoff. What the hell, man? You know what? I'm thinking these dudes were Greta Van Fleet before there was one.
Huh.
That's right. And like I said, I was telling Lee before we did the episode, I got a buddy at home, like, he'd be old enough to be your uncle, old enough to be my dad. You know what I'm talking about, Lee?
Yeah.
Age-wise. And he had told me about Greta Van Fleet, and I was like, yeah, but they sound like Zeppelin. And, like, I remember a time when it wasn't cool to, like, rip off Zeppelin. Believe me. But Greta Van Fleet, holy shit. I was like, this sucks. And these dudes were doing the same shit way before Greta Van Fleet. But get back to the songs. What can I say, man? As rock fans, we were and are starved. And this could pass as something good to a starving fan. Like, if you really hadn't eaten in, like, 2 weeks, and, like, here's some Wolfmother Vagabond. Yeah, it's good. And then you finally realize you had saltine crackers. I mean, it does kick in with a bit more intensity than the Led Zeppelin ripoff section at one point. But once again, just go listen to Zeppelin. There's nothing that stands out or special here. But hey, for any Wolfmother fans, you go ahead on. You love it. I'll just listen to the 4 or 5 good songs and I'll be good. This album definitely suffered for its length and number of tracks, and I'm pretty sure that's why we hear nothing about this band at all anymore. but like Lee said, they exist. And for anybody that's like, dude, stop pushing Oasis down my throat, I get it. I will stop. That was my epiphany, even though they're a far better band than this group.
Yeah.
But thanks for doing it, Lee.
Thank you. We need to do Hoodoo Gurus too, who
Gotta
are
be better than this.
from the same country as this group.
But we agree. But I think we do agree. There's a few good songs.
Yeah,
but,
and Hoodoo Gurus also have at least a few good songs.
But yeah, like 3,000 songs in an hour of listening now, it wasn't that good. But you know what? Unfortunately, I do know that this started as an EP, so it was like 4 or 5 songs. That's probably what it should have been.
Yeah,
Just go EP.
Mac DeMarco, who I don't know if you know who he is, and I don't want. I'm too drunk to have to explain his style to you, but he does some interesting stuff, and he came out with an album called something like, it sounds like for Wayne G or some, like as if maybe it's for Wayne Gretzky. I don't know, and I don't know why he would do that, but it's 200 songs, but it's only 8 hours long. But it's like I'm like if I listen to all of them, listen to them like in 10 songs each, and just listen maybe to, as if I'm listening to 20 albums over a period of time, I don't know whether or not they're good or not, and they're called like song number and with zeros in it, like they look like barcodes. Like I think he just said that he just decided to do a bunch of shit and giggles shit, and and then he just decided to put all of them together. And I don't know if anybody heard all of them, but I would say I'm not going to say it's worth it, and I don't even know if I will ever listen to the whole thing, but
probably wise decision.
But I mean, if I were to do it, I would probably just do it on my own, saying like Mac DeMarco Songs for Wayne G, Volume 1 of 20, and then do individual reviews of it, just because in case he ever does a gig in New York, I'd want to press my songs to him and give him my music, and you know what I mean.
Could you bring Mark Alden Taylor back on that episode? That would be that's a Mark Alden Taylor episode.
To have him do all 200 songs.
Yeah, I think that would
and to
bring
say,
him back
hey,
to the fold.
It's Mark. It's not Mark Alden Taylor. It's Mac DeMarco, but the names are similar. And hey, with his beard and mustache, he looks like a combination of you and me, meaning him and me. And so why not?
No, why not? I mean, hey, we're throwing an olive branch to the Mark Alden Taylor here on the show. But all I can say, though, Lee, please agree. I'm not begging you to agree with me, but I will stop inundate you with Oasis stuff. But they're better than this, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. See.
Even if
go ahead and say, folks.
Even their shitty albums are at least originally shitty, as opposed to derivative good, which this sometimes is. Okay?
Exactly. Which with Wolfmother, maybe they wanted you to go back and listen to Zeppelin and Sabbath and stuff, because
they
it was
wouldn't.
more of a billboard to listen to that than this.
Yeah,
right?
They wouldn't convince me of it because there's other things that I prefer to hear, but
right, but
in a way, yeah, I would want to at least shove this in their face. All right. There's a friend of mine there's a
The
friend of
next
mine.
album is even more lame. All right.
Anyway, there's a friend of mine. He's. I'll refer to him as the Quicksilver guy. You know, the guy
Oh,
who.
yeah.
He told me that he was in Los Angeles, and he was going to his post office box, and then he saw Axl Rose, who apparently was going to his post office box. And he said, "Hi, you're Axl Rose, right?" And Axl said, "No, I'm not." And he said, "Don't worry, I'm not trying to bother you. I just wanted to let you know that I think that groups like Quicksilver Messenger Service and Country Joe and the Fish and Jefferson Starship and stuff like that are much better than Guns N' Roses. They're a hell of a lot better than your group." And so he said that to him, and then Axl said, "That's cool." And then they ended up having a good conversation.
There you go.
So that was it.
I don't know though if you met Andrew Stockdale with his 17-inch long afro and you said, "You know what? You were Greta Van Fleet before Greta Van Fleet." I don't know if he'd have a great conversation with you.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
I don't
Probably
even know
not.
if I would want to have one with him.
I'm with you. But,
You know?
well, it won't happen on the Oasis tour. You ain't going to see Noel coming out there for free. But when they break up and they do, and Noel does another tour on his own, like I told you, Lee, he does signings for free.
That's cool.
He doesn't charge. He comes out, doesn't say a lot, but he'll sign your stuff, and you can give him some sheet music and say, "I knew where you ripped off There She Blows." No.
Ooh.
And he'll be like, "Yeah, you're right." And that's it. And he'll sign your sheet music, and he might take some of yours. But
yeah. That's the thing is, I would want to give him. Do you think?
But he doesn't charge. That's
Okay.
cool.
Now I'm wondering, if I were to meet Liam, and I was nice to him, would he be at least polite to me?
I don't know about Liam.
I mean, do you think that
maybe
if I approached Liam with the idea in the eye look, like, "Hey, I know you're considered to be an asshole, and I don't fucking care. I just want to say hi to you, and whatever happens,
he'd
happens."
like that. Yeah, I think he'd like that.
Yeah. That if I said, "Hey, I don't even fucking care if you like it, but I just want to give you some of my music. Is that cool?" Do you think he would probably at least take it?
Yeah, he'd probably throw it away immediately, but at least he wouldn't do. He would look you in the eye, unlike Ace Frehley.
Yeah, at least if he spit on me, at least he would spit. At least he would look at me.
Now, Noel, I think he has social anxiety, from what I've seen. I don't know that he would look you in the eye. But if you wanted a reaction, do what one fan did and give him the Phil Collins CD, but seriously.
Oh.
And because he hates Phil Collins, so he wrote "fuck you" and "fuck him too," Noel G.
Okay.
And that's pretty funny.
I wouldn't. You know what? When it comes to that album, but seriously, that one, I'm not necessarily a big fan of it.
I'm not a fan of too much Phil Collins, personally. I like some of the Genesis stuff a little bit.
Wait.
No.
But seriously,
Gabriel
was a different
Genesis was better. So,
yeah.
I think maybe it's just me. I don't know, but I thought Peter Gabriel Genesis was better, and Phil Collins did play drums.
Yeah.
In those days, but
okay.
But I don't hate Phil Collins.
Okay, but I will tell you some, because we're talking about artists. All right, you've heard of Elvin Bishop, right?
Who?
Elvin Bishop.
Heard the name. Yeah.
Okay, you know the song "I Fooled Around and Fell in Love"?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mickey Thomas sang that But anyway,
From Starship.
Yeah.
We built this city.
but this was
We
before
built
then.
this city.
But anyway,
Yeah, I remember.
a friend of mine, way back then, I haven't talked to him in a long time. He
Mhm.
was in a bar, and he saw Elvin Bishop, and he said,
Mhm.
"Hi, Elvin. I just want you to know that I'm a big fan of yours. I really like your music." And he said that he was trying to be very, respectful and polite and stuff. And Elvin Bishop was with his friends drinking and saying, look at that asshole. You're kissing butt, right? You say
Mhm.
you say you like my music. You're being just a regular." He was like insulting him. Then he apparently, Elvin Bishop was drinking a lot and trying to act Mr. Cool to his friends and Mr. Hotshot. So he went to the middle of the room and he said, "Hey, you want to kiss my ass? Kiss this." So then he pulled down his pants and showed his naked butt, and he said, "Kiss this." And my friend had really sharp pointed boots, really thick sharp pointed boots. He went up to him and he kicked him in the ass, and Elvin Bishop flew around the room. You know what happened? Elvin then laughed hysterically and said, "Fucking right on, man. Let me buy you a drink." And then they became good friends. And they talked, and they were good friends since. Isn't that
That's
fucking
awesome,
wild?
dude. It's awesome.
It's weird.
Here's a great. I think,
Like
movie
he
story.
needed to have his physical butt kicked to be a nice guy.
Right.
But
Well, you were just asking how you thought Liam might be. Here's a
yeah.
interesting story, I think. The dude from Blink 182, which I'm not a fan of Blink 182 in any imagination. Like,
me either.
I don't like them. That's fake punk. But he told a really cool story on an interview collection, and he was like, we played on the same bill as Oasis. I'm guessing 95-ish, something like that. Before they came out with the Small Things and were known. They weren't really known yet. And he was like, so we played our set, and they were like really horrible, like not horrible, horrible to you music.
Yeah.
And horrible to you, I'm sure. But
yeah.
He said horrible, like what they were saying to the crowd, and just rambunctious and crazy. And they did their set. And then he said, I was back in the dressing room, and this dude walks in, and it had to be him. He was like, the dude walked in, and he looked like a fucking Beatle. He looked cool as shit, and he was like, "Hey, are you Blink 182? Like, this one guy's Blink 182. He was like, "Are you Blink 182? And the dude said, "Yeah, I'm in Blink 182. He's like, "You're the best in America." And the Blink 182 said, wait. Blink 182 guy was like, "Oh, you liked us? I didn't say that. I just said you're the best in America." And then he walked out, like pimping. So really, he was like, "No, you're shit, because you're not us. But for here, you're good." And he was like, after that, he's like, "I love them. Period. They're like pimps. They're fucking talk shit. This and that." So you'd have to understand that about Liam. If you said, "Here's my sheet music. What the fuck I want that for?" You know? And then I've seen Noel in concert. He's like all of like 5'7". He's a very small man. Liam's about my height, so he's about 5.
Yeah.
But compared to his brother, he looks like a giant. But I mean, I know you're taller than him, so you would probably intimidate him. But he would just be like, "Yeah, fucking give me your fucking sheet music. What the fuck? You want an autograph then?" And you'd be like, "No, not really."
No, because like, it's my sheet music I'm giving to you. Is why it's
fuck yeah, I need something to wipe my ass with. Have a good time. And he'd walk off. And you may not like what he said, but it's the way he said it. So, you know, that
Yeah.
the Blink-182 story is still fresh.
Yeah. There was.
Are you the best? You're the best in America. You like us. You like us. No, I didn't say that. I said you're the best in America.
Yeah.
And then leave. Like, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. That's funny.
Yeah, there
That
was.
is funny.
Yeah, there was a guy I knew, and this will be the last story, just because I don't want to give thousands of stories. A guy who he
Well, I love stories. So do the folks at home.
okay,
by the
okay.
way.
There was a guy. He had he was really tall and big, with long hair and beard and mustache, and he was a music kind of guy, and he would go into the record store and he would be lift up his arms and go "Rrrr!" and act like he was about to hurt people. He was almost like a wrestler looking kind of a guy, and then he would just march in the store and you went "Rrrr!" But I knew he just did that just to be funny, you know, because I talked about music with him before and he was really pretty smart. So I saw him in the store. So I went up to him and asked him, "Excuse me, I just wanted to know, would you be able to, you know, turn me on to some really heavy psychedelic trippy music?" And I went, "Sure." So he actually went all the way around the store with me and he said, "This album is really good, but it's, you know, too expensive. But this album it's pretty good and it's more in your range." And he was really cool and he told me about stuff. And one of the albums that we did a review on was Twink that he told me about.
Yeah.
And then there was another group that he told me about that we ought to do a review too. And well, the last time that I saw him, he was just sitting down and I waved and he waved to me and I waved, you know, so he remembered me. But he's in California, but he's you know, he was a cool guy, but it was he went by the name Rare, like as if I want my steak rare. I know his real name, and he told me his real name, but he officially likes to be known as Rare. But the thing is, you know, a really nice guy who sometimes if people, he's kind of like if Ian Wadley really wanted to do what he said he would do to people, you know, but really bigger in weight, and he could probably punch a you know totem a light post with his hand. But I'm talking about this other guy.
I have to be fair, dude.
But I was going to say, but the guy's sense of humor.
He carries. Yeah, Ian's hilarious.
No, I'm talking about the other guy. Looks like
Rare.
Like Ian
Rare.
looks like the slim version of him. But anyway, but no, Ian looks good. But no, I mean the other guy's like
Rare is a large man.
Rare looks like he's gonna punch anybody out if they're gonna, you know, talk bad for a quick moment.
But not big like the dude is from Hawaii who's saying somewhere over the rainbow.
No,
not that big. Like
no.
Exploded immediately after that song, and that was sad.
He's more.
He's a big guy.
But regular height. But so he likes to act like if you talk to me at the wrong time, you're gonna be like a hurricane wind blowing you away. But in truth, he only does that as a joke. But I actually had serious musical conversations with him during times when he wasn't like that, and he sounded a lot like me. So, you know, unfortunately, I don't know how to contact him because I would be I would be willing to have him on a review because I think he's cool, but I think that.
And I would love to do a review with you and Rare. That would be great.
But I mean, he's in California and I don't know his contact info.
Oh. Well, Rare, reach out to the Lee Gerstmann show.
I know someone. I know someone who.
This outfit,
I know someone who knows him.
One.
I know someone who knows him that if he were willing to give a message to him, maybe it's possible it might happen. But
the last thought I have before we say bye-bye.
But Rare was a cool guy.
And
anyway.
He says it's so awesome when he goes, bye-bye. Have you ever seen the movie Give My Regards to Broad Street, the Paul McCartney movie?
I did not.
You should. Just to laugh at how terrible he remade most of the Beatles songs. But there's a couple good songs, though. I mean, there are. What's that one with Dave Gilmour on the guitar? No More Lonely Nights.
Oh, okay. No. If I had sheet music to it, I'd play it.
It's Dave Gilmour on the guitar solo.
I'm talking about I would play the sheet music, so it would be me.
Yeah. But that movie, there's a giant wrestler named Haystacks Calhoun. And, no, not Haystacks Calhoun, Giant Haystack. He was an English wrestler, pro wrestler. But he was like chilling with McCartney in the movie. And the guy's like 6'8", 450 pounds. And just talking to Paul like, he's like kind of like a bodyguard or something in the movie. And it was, so maybe that's how Rare is.
No. He's
huge dude. Like,
he's more like maybe 100 pounds heavier than Ian, but like Ian, but with a beard and mustache.
But not Ian's quick wit and sense of humor. Maybe.
No.
Oh,
He's more like me.
Oh, okay, one of them clever ones. No.
Yeah.
If you can find Rare, and
I mean, sometimes like once when I saw him, he looked at me like as if I was going to mess with him, he might have messed with me, but no, he didn't. But I think it was just.
And by the way,
but he's more like he might say, "Hey, pussy," to someone.
Yeah.
And if the guy stopped, then he might want to wrestle with him. But if they kept going, he would just laugh and But
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But I have to say, hey, Phil Wayne, we're waiting for you. Come on the Lee Gerstmann show. I know I'm a nuclear toxic person, but come on.
Yeah.
Let's do it. We're down for Kiss, Judas Priest, whatever. I know Lee's like on an anti-metal tip, but
hey,
we know what you like. We know what you like, Phil Wayne.
I'm not like that with Judas Priest.
They're the best. That's why. But
they're one of the best. I still would like to meet Rob Halford.
I personally think they're the best. But
well, you're a good guy.
But Bill Wang, you told me a month ago, let's do this. I'm calling you out. Let's do this. You're a huge influence on me. Love you, man. Let's do this. All right, Lee.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
Okay. Bye-bye.